Donald Trump has been humiliated in the Oval Office again, not once, but twice in the same week. First by the President of France, and now by the Prime Minister of Britain. Both leaders, sitting right beside him, were forced to interrupt Trump's lies about Ukraine aid, Europe, and tariffs. That moment, caught on camera in the White House, is already reverberating across Washington, Europe, and beyond. On Monday, Trump tried to rewrite history in front of Emmanuel Macron. He said that Europe was giving Ukraine less aid than the United States. Macron stopped him cold, reminding the world that Europe has actually contributed more than Washington. Trump even went further, insisting that Europe's aid was loans, while America's was gifts. Macron had no choice but to reach across, interrupt him, and correct the record. That clip, showing Macron's hand reaching out to silence Trump, became the humiliation touch seen around the world. 3 days later, Trump walked into the exact same trap. Only this time, it was the British Prime Minister sitting beside him. Again, Trump claimed that European aid had to be paid back. Again, he inflated the numbers, falsely saying Joe Biden had sent Ukraine $350 billion. The real figure is $119 billion, less than half of Trump's claim. And again, Trump was stopped. The British Prime Minister didn't touch him the way Macron did, but his left hand rose instinctively, the body language of interruption. And he cut Trump off before the lie could spread any further. Trump has repeated these same falsehoods about Ukraine dozens of times. He knows his base doesn't check the numbers. But what matters here is not just the lie, it's the humiliation of being contradicted face to face by leaders of America's closest allies. Macron did it, now the British Prime Minister has done it, and the world is watching. But the Oval Office embarrassment didn't end with Ukraine. Andrew Feinberg, one of the few White House reporters willing to confront Trump directly, asked a devastating question about tariffs. Trump had just claimed that tariffs on China are charged to China. Feinberg pushed back, pointing out the truth. Tariffs are paid by American importers and consumers. Trump, cornered, denied it. No, I think they're paid by the country, he said. But the truth is simple. Tariffs are taxes, and they're paid by the buyer. If Trump imposes a 50% tariff on a Samsung television, it's Americans who foot the bill, not Korea. This is the kind of exchange that rarely happens in the Trump era. Too many reporters have normalized his lies. When Trump doubles the numbers, invents loans that don't exist, or pretends tariffs are free money, the White House press corps often looks the other way. Feinberg didn't. He asked directly, "Can you explain how you came to this belief that foreign governments are paying tariffs?" Trump had no answer. He rambled for 150 words without explaining anything. That's why this Oval Office moment matters. For the second time in a week, Trump was publicly contradicted in front of allied leaders. And for the first time this year, he was directly cornered by a journalist on tariffs, the economic issue he built his first campaign on. The humiliation grew even sharper at the formal press conference that followed. Reading from a teleprompter, Trump repeated the same lies about Ukraine aid, claiming again that Europe's support is loans while America's is gifts. He even inflated the total to $350 billion once more. This time, the British Prime Minister didn't interrupt. Politeness required him to sit silently while Trump read words someone else had written. But the lie was the same. The humiliation was the same. And the world saw it. Then came the questions. Trump, perhaps forgetting what happened in the Oval Office, called on Andrew Feinberg again. This time, Feinberg doubled down. He asked 2 questions. First, how Trump could keep insisting that foreign governments pay tariffs. And second, directed to the British Prime Minister, whether he had discussed Trump's repeated statements about annexing Canada. That second question drew a smirk from reporters in the room, but it was deadly serious. Trump has joked more than once about making Canada the 51st state. The British Prime Minister, holding his country's special role as Canada's constitutional overseer, brushed it aside, saying, "We didn't discuss Canada." But the damage was done. Trump looked out of touch, unaware of Canada's ties to the King of England, and exposed on the world stage. The first question, though, was the real trap. Feinberg's phrasing was perfect. Can you explain how you came to this belief that foreign governments are paying tariffs? Trump never answered. He talked about being treated unfairly. He said tariffs would make America rich, but he never explained the belief because he couldn't. The truth is he either doesn't understand tariffs or refuses to admit the truth. Neither option inspires confidence. Then came the British reporters. One asked directly whether Trump would apologize to President Zelensky for calling him a dictator while praising Vladimir Putin. That question cut through the bluster. Trump froze. He muttered something about having a good meeting tomorrow. No apology, no defense, just retreat. The cowardice was visible. This is the pattern. Trump inflates, distorts, and lies. Foreign leaders stop him, reporters corner him, and each time Trump shows either ignorance or evasion. The British Prime Minister saw it, Macron saw it, reporters saw it, and the world saw it. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Senator Ruben Gallego delivered a warning. He said America's stance at the United Nations, aligning itself with Russia and North Korea in recent votes, sent a dangerous signal. It told allies that America cannot be relied upon to stand up to aggression. It told Ukraine they are on their own. Gallego said it wasn't just embarrassing. It was dangerous. That's the deeper consequence of these Oval Office humiliations. When Trump lies about aid, when he denies the basics of tariffs, when he calls Zelensky a dictator while praising Putin, the world begins to doubt America's role. Allies wonder if Washington can be trusted. Rivals see opportunity, and the credibility of the United States shrinks. The next 48 hours could be crucial. Trump is set to meet President Zelensky to sign an energy and minerals deal. The question hanging over that meeting is whether Trump will continue to spread falsehoods or whether he will be forced again to face public contradiction. All eyes are on that stage. Will Zelensky challenge him directly? Will Trump repeat the dictator remark? And what will it mean for U.S. credibility if the president of Ukraine publicly pushes back? What we saw this week is unprecedented. A U.S. president humiliated twice in the same chair, in the same room, in the same week, by leaders of America's oldest allies, corrected on Ukraine, cornered on tariffs, exposed on Canada, and silent when asked about his praise of Vladimir Putin. The consequences go far beyond one press conference. They shape the perception of American leadership in Europe, in NATO, and around the world. They send signals to Moscow and Beijing. They test the credibility of Washington's promises. And they show the world a president who either doesn't understand the policies he talks about or who lies so relentlessly he cannot answer the simplest questions. The Oval Office is supposed to be a place of strength. This week, it became a place of humiliation. The world saw it, the Allies saw it, and America will live with the consequences. If you want clear analysis that cuts through the noise, subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Trump's Oval Office performance and share this video so more people can see what's really happening behind the headlines. Stay tuned because the next press conference and the next 48 hours could reshape the future.